समझ नहीं आ रहा अपने सैलरी इंक्रीमेंट का क्या करूं।
बेटा इतना क्या सोच रहा है? अपने म्यूचुअल फंड्स के एसआईपी का टॉपअप करा ले। दिस इज द राइट टाइम।
क्या समझ में नहीं आया?
बेटा इतना क्या सोच रहा है? अपने म्यूचुअल फंड्स का एसआईपी टॉपअप करा ले। दिस इज द राइट टाइम।
अब समझा।
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme related documents carefully.
Nearly 7 years ago, I wrote a national interest under the headline, Do Muslims Matter for Modi-Shah BJP or India? You will find a link to that article with the description under this video. This is an important time to raise that question again. On the evidence of the latest state elections, especially in West Bengal and Assam, where Muslims constitute upwards of 30% of the electorate, the issue remains the same, if more compounded. The answers have become more vexed. And politically, the conclusion would be Muslims today matter even less to the Modi-Shah BJP than they did in 2019. In West Bengal and in Assam, the BJP won 2/3 of the seats this time without fielding even one Muslim. Without fielding even one Muslim, I repeat. Conversely, of the 24 opposition candidates who won in Assam, 22 are Muslim. This includes 18 out of the Congress tally of 19. In West Bengal, 40 of the 293 newly elected MLAs are Muslim. Of these, 34 are from TMC, about 45% of the party's tally of 80. In effect then, in the two states, J&K is not a state, in the two states where Muslims have their largest population, they are out of the power structure altogether, cleansed out and effectively forming the only opposition to the BJP. Irony or paradox, their leaders are still Hindus. And they are all the losers. Their leaders, the Hindu leaders, are all the losers in the fight with the BJP. These elections mark the completion of the BJP versus secular party divide purely on Hindu-Muslim basis. In Kerala, for example, of the UDF's 102 newly elected MLAs, 30 are Muslim and 29 Christians. The secular relief at knowing that the Muslims having their place, at least in the Kerala sun, needs to be tempered by the realization that BJP will now exploit this as evidence of minority rule, work on the Hindu vote in Kerala and divide Kerala's Christians. Nationally, this Lok Sabha, the 18th, has 24 Muslim MPs or a mere 4.42%, while the community's proportion in the national electorate is about 15%. In the 16th and 17th Lok Sabha, there were 22 and 27 Muslim MPs respectively. This, however, isn't as big a surprise as it might seem from the first reading, except 1980 and 1984, when Muslims won 49 and 45 seats, accounting for 9 and 8.3% respectively. The percentage of Muslim MPs in Lok Sabha has stayed around the 5% mark. But they were always represented significantly in the Union cabinet. Even Vajpayee had Sikandar Bakht to begin with. They were present in significant constitutional positions like the President of India, Vice President, Lok Sabha Deputy Speaker, and occasional heads of armed forces and intelligence agencies. Today, there is none. There is no Muslim Chief Minister. J&K, once again, is a union territory. There is one Muslim governor in Bihar, Lieutenant General retired Syed Ata Hasnain. Among the nearly 100-strong list of central government secretaries, Kamran Rizvi, Heavy Industries, is the only Muslim. Justice Ahsanuddin Amanullah is the only Muslim among the 32 Supreme Court judges today. While on the one hand, this list would give us the impression of marginalization of Indian Muslims, it needs qualification. More Muslims are entering the key professions: medicine, law, academia, science, software, banking, entertainment, and of course, news media. The civil services and armed forces, including officers' academies, are seeing Muslim selections rise. Those stories have been done on ThePrint by my colleagues, our reporters. The qualification, therefore, has to be that their loss of representation is specific to politics. The headline of that first column on the same theme in 2019 was drawn from a 1999 conversation with then BJP leader, intellectual and ideological spokesperson, and former Rajya Sabha MP Balbir Punj. He was also briefly my colleague at the Indian Express Group, where he wrote for the Financial Express. Punj passed away last month. He was furious. He was furious after the second Vajpayee government lost its majority in Lok Sabha by one vote in 1999. After the 13-day government in 1996, he was frustrated because he said that no party that counted on the Muslim vote was willing to accept the BJP in power. This was the veto, he said, that the Muslims had on who would rule India and who wouldn't. The Modi-Shah era has changed all of that. These facts lead to three important outcomes. Number one, BJP's rivals or the so-called secular parties are increasingly looking like Muslim parties, though their leaders are all Hindus. This is exactly where the BJP would want its opposition to be. A Hindu versus the rest equation is 80:20 in their favor, and they will keep working on the Christians in chosen geographies. They've already conquered Goa, and Kerala is a work in progress for them. The BJP has patience and lots of time. In the northeast, they've built a comfortable compact with the Christian tribes. In none of these states has the BJP demanded a beef ban. That's why Asaduddin Owaisi mocks their hypocrisy by taunting them with UP mein gai mummy, Goa mein gai yummy. In Uttar Pradesh, the cow is mother. In Goa, it's yummy. Some secular parties, which still count on the Muslim vote, have become wary of even seeming to be speaking for them. Like the previous AAP government in Delhi during Shaheen Bagh protests and the communal riots that followed, fear of being seen as pro-Muslim kept them away. The fear of being seen as pro-Muslim kept them away. Point number two, this puts the burden of saving Indian secularism squarely on the backs of the Muslims. This is onerous, unrealistic, and unfair. It's the logic of partition that Muslim community is scattered in India and doesn't have majorities in significant electoral geographies. Today, they are being persuaded to vote for the candidate most likely to defeat the BJP merely on the hope and promise that it might protect them physically. This is hopelessly minimalistic in a robust secular democracy. As the Sachar committee showed, this approach to voting has done nothing for them, for the Muslims. In fact, the report became Mamata Banerjee's rallying call because it showed how miserably the Muslims had done under the left in West Bengal. Of course, everybody had done miserably under the left in West Bengal, but Muslims there became an even starker example of discrimination. It's for the secular parties now to build large enough coalitions with the Hindus to reach winning vote shares. In the past, the Hindi heartland parties did so by dividing the Hindus among castes and signing up large enough caste groups, either Dalits for Mayawati or Yadavs for Lalu Yadav and Mulayam Singh. That fortress has now been breached by Modi and Shah. Who has any new ideas here? Certainly, this Congress looks far from it. It has the bewildered look of a confused hare on a highway, frozen in the headlights of an oncoming truck. Point number three. Owaisi has floated another idea. The Muslims form their own parties, choose their own leaders. This is unsustainable because all of India isn't old Hyderabad. If Muslims float their own parties, they'll be the BJP's biggest force multipliers. The remarkable fact is, after Jinnah, Indian Muslims have never trusted a Muslim as their leader. They've counted on Hindu leaders, from the Nehru-Gandhi family to the Yadavs of UP and Bihar, Mamata Banerjee and the left, where it matters. Did it work for them? Not perfectly, but they were never as out of the power structure as they are now. India's Muslims, Hindus and secularists all need to think afresh. The Muslim fear of becoming an outnumbered minority goes back to the era of Sir Syed Ahmad, and ultimately it led to the creation of Pakistan. Who it benefited or did not is a debate for another day. It's odd to put them in one category, but just for our understanding, think Pakistan and Israel. They are very different countries, very different democracies, but for our understanding, let's put them in one category for now, for our convenience and understanding. One is an Islamic republic and the other is Zionist one. Both have proportionate representation, and although it works differently, it guarantees some seats for the minorities. A little bit of jitni jiski abadi, utna uska haq, to each according to their absolute numbers. India, a secular republic, follows the first past the post system, and to expect any proportionality in elected representation is unrealistic. But there is a gap and an imbalance. The only way of addressing it is for another enlightened leadership to rise and build a new coalition with a large enough section of the Hindus. It's Indian Hindus who preferred and chose constitutional secularism, and the responsibility of preserving it lies with them. Any credible challenger of the BJP will need to build trust with them first.